Hi, my name is Jeff Liu. I am one of the members on the IEAM Tiger team, and IEAM stands for IBM Edge Application Manager. Today, I am going to share with you a demo to illustrate how we can use an IEAM agent to manage the workload and the complete life cycle of a containerized application running on edge computing devices. And these devices can be as small as a Raspberry Pi or a NVIDIA Jetson. Pretty much anything that supports a Linux kernel, we can run IEAM agent on them. And I will also demonstrate how we can leverage MMS, our model management system, to manage any updates to the application with zero touch, meaning that the agent will manage all the updates for you autonomously. And for this demo, we are going to illustrate how we can ensure worker safety at a workplace using an IEAM agent to manage the application workload on a remote edge device, and to detect if an employee is wearing a hard hat through the lens of a camera with computer visions using trained machine learning model. So what we are looking at here is a web UI that's pointing to a remote edge device on the network. And this device has been set up with a registered IEAM agent to manage the workload and to show that the agents are truly managing the application life cycle autonomously. We have here two different remote edge devices that are running on the network. Device number one that's using machine learning version model version 1.0, and we have device number two that is also using machine learning model version 1.0. So for demo purpose, we are going to here's a recording of a camera feed showing a lady who is wearing a hard hat as she's walking around the warehouse just doing her job. And there's also a gentleman here on the bottom of the screen who's also wearing a hard hat. So what we are going to do is we are going to stream this camera feed to the application that's running on this remote edge device, and that's being managed by the IEAM agent on this device, and to see how well it will detect if these employees are wearing a hard hat. And as stated earlier, with the machine learning version model version 1.0, it is trained to detect hard hat to some degree of accuracy. And when the application receives the camera feed, it will take a snapshot from this camera feed every few seconds and perform inferencing on those capture photos. As you can see here in frame number one, that it's able to identify that she's wearing a hard hat. And as she's walking around the warehouse, and it still recognized that she's wearing a hard hat. However, in frame number three, the gentleman here on the bottom corner of the screen who's wearing a hard hat, but the model is not able to detect that he's wearing one. Obviously, this machine learning model needs some improvement, and we need a better trained model that can detect hard hat at a higher degree of confidence. And thankfully, our development team had just finished training a new and improved model version 2.0 that will detect hard hat with higher confidence. And in addition, it will also detect if someone is wearing a mask or a safety vest. So let's roll out this new model using MMS, our model management system. And I'm going to use the CLI command to help me publish this model to the management hub. I'm going to change this to version 2. And this is going to take a few seconds for it to get updated to the management hub. And while we are waiting, I want to highlight IEAM as a platform, a management platform. It comes with some nice built-in features, and one of them being security, in a sense that you are getting security by default, because when once the IEAM agents have been deployed on the device and on the network, and it's been registered with the management hub. And when the registration process is complete, beyond that point, the management hub really doesn't need to know or care to know where or what the agents are running on the network, because the management hub will never reach out to the agents for anything. It is the agents that will periodically call home and check for updates. You can think of this concept pretty much like the Hollywood principle. From the agent's perspective is that don't call us and we'll call you. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, for some reason our management hub server got compromised, and the node agents that are running on the network will not be affected. They will not be impacted because there's no open communication channel between the management hub to the node agents running on the network. So in a sense, this is by design. You are getting security by default. So back to our demo. When the management hub receives the updates from MMS, it will update the database and mark it as new updates available. Now that the updates is available, the next time the agent calls home, it will auto-download the new update and process the updates automatically without any downtime. And in our case, it will swap out the old models with the new ones autonomously, practically with zero touch, and which is what's happening here in a few seconds once it picks up the update. So let's see if device 1 got the update. I'm going to switch over to device 1 and see if it got the update yet. And it looks like it did. So it's registering, it's using version 2.0 of the machine learning model. And this time around, in frame number 1, it's able, not only that it's able to identify that she's wearing a hard hat, it realized that she's wearing a safety vest, and more importantly, she's a person. And as she walked around in the warehouse, and she's still wearing a hard hat and she's wearing a safety vest. And let's scroll down to frame number 3. Remember, in frame number 3, in the previous model, version 1.0, it was not able to tell that this man is wearing a hard hat. But with 2.0, it is able to identify that he's wearing a hard hat and he's wearing a safety vest. And let's also switch over to device number 2 and see if it too got the update. And looks like it did too. So both devices got the updates from MMS, the new model, version 2.0. So to summarize that, in this demo, we have shown that how we can employ IAM as a platform to manage the lifecycle of a containerized applications running on edge devices, and using MMS, our model management system, along with the IAM agents to manage workload for you autonomously with zero downtime. And as you can imagine, we can employ IAM for many different use cases to help improve processes, productivities, and efficiencies. And IAM does not dictate what application you need to run on those devices, but it will help you manage them, and it will manage them at tens of thousands of agents at scale. So I am going to leave you with some links if you want to learn more about Open Horizon and IEAM in general, and please reach out if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.